Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you here today. I got a job site for us to work on, grading and prep for some concrete. So let me go show you what we got to do and we'll get rolling. Let's get this baby started up first. It's kind of cold out right now. We need to get it warming up. Oh yeah. Yeah, we know it's cold out. All right, cool. All right, so while that's warming up, I'll show you what we got going on. About a year ago, I dug out all this area for this retaining wall and pole barn right here. And it turned out really nice. Customer and I worked together on getting the foundation and everything for that retaining wall together. And he had this pole barn built recently. So what we need to do is prep for concrete. It's kind of two things in one. So on this end right here, this is our lowest end. I kind of had everything sloping over here towards this drain right here. So we're gonna cut everything level with that, which means this corner has to drop like 5 inches. So it's like 7 inches over here. We're gonna kind of fluctuate a little bit over here so it's not be more concrete on this side and so on and so forth. Anyhow, so we gotta do that. And then he's going to build like an actual, in this area right here, he's gonna build an actual shop like area with another roof over it. So we're gonna get that down, same height. It's gonna be poured concrete all the way down through there. And then right here along the back, this is a pretty cool touch. I like this a lot. He has this overhang built way wider so that way he can just store stuff back here. He's gonna store ladders and random things like that. So we're gonna get this down where he can put like some more either 57 stone or some river stone down here and it'll look really nice, but stay out of the weather and drain into our footing drain. All right, and then from the last portion of this, we need to take a little bit of dirt off of here. We gotta dig all the way out, kind of in line with that retaining wall. Just kind of get all that dirt out of here. There's some cable lines and power lines and fiber and everything in here, so we're gonna be real careful with that. But then we're gonna also run dirt up along that wall and slope everything back out, get this kind of ramp built back. This is to have access to this backyard. And then on the top here, we need to grade everything to this drain. If you want to see how we installed that drain, what that looked like, here's the video about that. Look in the cards up here and one of these top corners here. You can go watch that video and then come back to this. But we got to grade all this out so everything slopes into here. So we kind of have to address this whole area, but there's a power line that comes through here. And I probably need to go rent a mini skid. We need to get some dirt and run it away from the wall and back towards these trees. So that's going to be like the only thing that I may not be able to get to. This is kind of the last priority, he said. So make sure I get everything else done. All that dirt that's in there that we're going to bring out, there's a decent amount of it. We're going to bring it up here and make like a nice big horseshoe right here to run water into that. And then we're going to reshape and do this top right here. We got to be a little careful in working this. There is a line that goes to the well right up there. So there's some power lines, cable lines, well lines, everything kind of going around through here. So we're going to be as gentle with this area as we possibly can. So I'm going to get unloaded and then we will get rolling on this project. All right, we got to grab a couple things. We'll need the grease gun in a minute. When I get that off the trailer, we're going to need our laser level. We're going to need these guys right here, a shovel and a rake. All right, so before I get too far ahead of myself, I'm definitely going to need a mini skid on the top of that hill. So I'm going to drop this trailer just down the bottom of this hill right here, and then we're going to go rent a mini skid from Home Depot. They got a Toro Dingo for rent up there. So I just went to Home Depot, picked up this little Toro Dingo, little walk behind unit. It'll be all right to do what I need to up there. All right, so shooting the laser, found I'm taking like 5 inches out of that corner and like 2 inches out of this corner.
Lunchbox here. It just went off like 2 or 3 minutes ago. And let's see what we got in here. Get the lid off like that. Goes up. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Nothing better than a nice warm meal on a cold day. All right, back to it. We're gonna work from there all the way around. Now we're pretty close where we're at. So we'll work all the way around with that mini skid. Basically what I'll do is I'll pull all the dirt back in here and put it in a pile, and I can scoop it up with the 4-in-1 in a little bit after I get all that out of my way. So I'll get everything prepped and ready to that point, and then the last thing we'll do is this. We gotta hand dig all that out because that power line, it kind of makes a weird bend. We had it moved because it used to come down through right here. And so it makes a weird bend. It comes where my machine is, comes back this way a little bit, and then back there. So we don't remember how far it comes this way. So I'm gonna hand dig all that so we don't hit it.